Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. Today's video is going to be me talking you through a few of the decks I used to actually already get my 5 wins. I did it, well obviously once you've done it once it's done, but I did it 3 times today and I'll be probably carrying on tomorrow as well. And in case you're not aware of the event, the current PvP event, basically the biggest achievement is 5 consecutive wins. So that means you have to win 5 games in a row. You can change deck if you want to, however you do need to win 5 in a row to be able to get the emblem to then put onto your profile. So that was the goal for the day and for the new PvP event. It's on for a week from today, so a week from the 9th roughly of December, if you're interested, and you've got a reasonable amount of time to get this done, although it has been frustrating some people. And before I get into the decks, I will just quickly touch on this for a second, where this is now our second PvP event in the game. Not my favorite approach whatsoever. Personally, I like just the win X amount of games because you still have to do the work and win them, and it was quite a number of games, obviously. But for me, the issue with this event is winning 5 games in a row. While obviously you have to at least play okay, it doesn't really prove if you were good, right? Because there are some matchups where you brick or your opponent bricks, or I had a couple of people just play one turn and then not even like concede, but just close the app and just leave, right? Because you just end up waiting for your opponent. So there's a lot of things that can cause you to either win or lose for no reason whatsoever, or no good reason, and that is obviously going to add on or take away from that 5 run that you need to do. However, even though I don't personally like it, and I had a lot of people in my stream frustrated, a little bit anxious, really just angry about the whole format because they were struggling to get the wins. I understand, I get it. I think this is one of the reasons why when everyone keeps asking me about, is ranked coming? Do I think ranked's going to come? So on. It's one of the big reasons why I don't think they even need to put ranked in the game. Because I think the downsides of it stressing a lot of these casual players out who just play the game casually probably outweigh the upsides of a minority of people wanting a ranked competitive mode. Because it means you have to make losses really mean something. And for the first time in this game with this event, losses mean a lot in this, which means you already seen people getting very frustrated. However, I do think it's important for the devs to test different event styles, different rule sets, different modes, because if they test it and it doesn't work, okay, they know it doesn't work, they'll probably not do it again. Or if the feedback was really bad, they'll probably not do it again. Problem solved. Whereas if they test loads of stuff and find some really cool things, they can do them again. So even though this event may not be for everyone, and even the people like me who enjoy PvP, enjoy events and so on, not my favorite, it's not the end of the world as long as the devs sort of gather the feedback and react appropriately to it. So yeah, just a quick note on the event itself before we dive into the decks. But without further ado, let's check them out. First off, I will take a look at the one of the first decks I did it with, which was this sort of Team Rocket Arbok Weezing deck with 1 Jigglypuff and 1 Wigglytuff EX. I will say in this run, the Wigglytuff only really came into play once, I think, in the whole 5 games. However, this deck is, or at least this style, is probably my favorite, or at least top couple favorites in the game, of having Arbok and Weezing together and being able to lock in good targets with that Arbok corner ability, and obviously have it Weezing be able to just poison, tank, Koga them back, tank some more, poison some more, and just basically rotate that out. Now, just looking at the rest of the cards, yes, it's not an error. I do play the 60 health Jiggly. I'm just a little bit more scared than everyone else, I guess, of having a 50 health that sometimes you have to start out, which is a little bit rough. I think that can get you in some trouble. And for a card that, like, almost all the time you never want to start it anyway, I think I would personally rather have the more health and have, like, the coin flips with Sing to wake up or not. So just a personal preference. You can, of course, play the promo Jiggly if you want in this one. Outside of that, we of course have 2 Sabrina, Giovanni, times 1 potion just to help out, again, just to maybe top up a Weezing or an Arbok, and then of course the 2 Pokeballs, 2 research, and of course the Kogas. So a pretty clean list. This felt pretty good. It wasn't that difficult, honestly, to get the 5 wins. Of course, You could run into some really tough matchups. Like, I think I failed on like 3 wins with this because I faced against like a fighting type deck that just sort of ran over me, which, you know, sometimes it happens. It is what it is. But overall, a very solid deck, very flexible deck that has good game versus a lot of the decks that are currently going to be popular in the PvP event. Next up, we have a very simple, straightforward deck. It's Blaine. I did this so easy. I think I literally played 5 games and won 5, or at least something very close. It didn't take long. And this is the way I choose to build Blaine. Very simple, straightforward, and to the point. There's no extra Pokemon. There's no Arcanine EX. There's no Magmar. There's no this. There's no that. Very simple. 2 Ninetales, 2 Rapidash, 2 Blaine, 2 Giovanni for maxing out damage, because that's all you care about. The 2 Sabrinas, of course, to be able to snipe certain Pokemon. The X speeds that are really clutch in retaining that energy value, because, again, Ninetales being your big hitter, you're basically burning 1 energy per turn to be able to attack with Ninetales. So X speed basically negates that problem a lot of the time when you do need to do a little maneuvering on the bench. Then, of course, the Professor's Research and the Pokeballs. This deck, honestly, you can play this to get great results from ladder. You can play this to do the PvE event, or this is what I played, obviously to grind the Venusaur event. Now it's good in the event for 5 wins consecutively, because also one of the key strengths about this deck is it's fast, right? Even if you do 3 wins and then lose, and then 4 wins and then lose, and then 5 wins, whatever, even losing, you can just blast through the game so fast, it's not that big a deal. Whereas I tried for a while to do Dragonite and we got really close, but the games just naturally take like 2 to 3 times longer than this deck. And this deck is very, very easy to make, so definitely a budget-friendly one for anyone who's struggling to piece together some of the bigger decks in the game. Next up, we do, of course, have a favorite. This is the deck I started with, and the first deck I got the 5 wins with, and it's just exactly my Invitational Tournament winning deck. Starmie, Golduck, 1 normal Articuno, double Misty, double Sabrina, Giovanni, and then the usual suspects, with a couple of potions in there to help. Now, I got asked a lot about this deck, and, oh, why not play Articuno? Why not play Greninja? Honestly, I feel like Starmie EX is a very fast, aggressive Pokemon, and Greninja's slow. Articuno is very, very, very reliant on Misty as well, which is really scary in itself. The second you just Tails on a Misty, you probably may as well concede a lot of the time on Articuno EX. Whereas Golduck, it's pretty good, and it has like a valuable tool to be able to just pile on pressure, right? Sometimes the Psyduck sort of headache is good and useful, which is great, but generally speaking, your 2 main attacking Pokemon only require 2 energy and can start hitting very, very hard. And because of the 90 health on Golduck and the 130 on Starmie, of course, you can often take a hit or 2, which means you really do outvalue and overrun a lot of these decks that can cause you problems. I think one of the decks I won against, and this might not sound impressive, but I beat a Charizard deck that started Moltres purely because Golduck, even though it doesn't have a type advantage, Golduck just hits hard enough, right, to pressure the Moltres out, and then has type advantage on the back line. So honestly, I think a couple of the games I won with this deck out of the 5, even just Golducks did the work. And then, of course, we all know how good Starmie EX is. Incredible Pokemon. Very much a standalone hero if you really need it in any given deck. And then we do have my favorite, the non-EX Articuno. It's there for a bit of, tanking if needed. It's a cheap retreat cost, much better in my opinion than Articuno EX. And you still have the option to go for that Paralyze, which I think the Paralyze actually won me 1 match against a Mewtwo. But you do have the Misty target on the Articuno if you want. Even if you get 1 or 2 energy, it makes it much, much easier to be able to just overcome any problems with that Articuno. But generally, it is there as a tank. So yeah, that is the third and final deck for Starmie. So it was really good. We did pretty well today. I tried some more out there decks to get it done, but I couldn't quite manage it. As I said, Dragonite struggled a little bit. Nidoking deck I was working on didn't make it work. But we are currently 4 out of 5 wins with Mewtwo EX with a Jinx in there. And I know it's not the most wild deck in the game, but I just wanted to make sure, I had this on the list of, okay, decks that I have done the 5 games with and won the 5 5 games with consecutively, of course. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.